Hey everybody, so in this video series we're going to be talking about some ways we can work with objects in Java, and we'll start out with the understanding that you know how to use system.out.println, how to do some basic things, but I'll try and go over all of the details that are requisite for working with basic objects in Java, just kind of talking about how they relate to each other. So first of all, we need to create a project for ourselves to use. So we're going to create a new project in whatever IDE you're working with. I'm going to create a Java project. Your menus may look slightly different depending on what version you're using. And for this project, let's just call it working with objects. It'll create it. I'm not going to switch over to this perspective because I just am going to use this for the sakes of the demo. And then we're going to create two different classes. We're first going to create a package, excuse me, and we'll just call this our main package, into which we'll put all of our classes. Packages are just like folders inside a Java project. And now we're inside that package going to create a class to be our main class. So this is let's just call this object runner. And then we're also going to create a different class, and this one you can name kind of whatever you want. Your object, I guess. It can be kind of a silly name or whatever. I'm just going to call it my object. So create a new class called my object. You can give it a different name. Objects start with capital letters, and each subsequent word thereafter is capitalized. And so I'd like you to follow that convention. And I believe, and then, you know what, we're just going to type in a basic constructor for this object. Now, objects are just like factories that create different like individuals of that type. And so when a different part of the program makes a phone call to the factory, it needs to have something that it can reference or utilize to create an object of that type, and the computer knows how to do this. So a constructor method has it's the same exact name as the object itself, and then open and close parentheses to indicate that it is in fact a method or a function, and then we're just going to have it be empty for now and do nothing with it actually. This is so basic to objects that if you don't need a constructor to do anything specific, you don't even have to type this, but we will for the sake of showing you like how we can make changes to it. The constructor method is also a special kind of method that has no return type, if you know what those are yet, and is always public by default, which we'll get into later, but you don't even have to type that stuff. But often you'll see it written like this, public my object, which we're not even going to do right now just because I want to keep it simple. So that's it for this video. That's just setting up the project with which we're going to do our work to understand how objects and methods and all that stuff relates to each other.